Broadcasting for the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
Fascinating.
Damn you all to hell!
It's the Solo Sci-Fi Podcast.
Right, alright. Hello and welcome to number 98, two off from the big 100 of the Solo One Sci-Fi Podcast. We've been going for nearly 2 years now, and we're going to be doing something special. So I'd like to introduce, in the far side of the corner, in the other box next door, Coquelud, aka Michael Ball. How are you, my friend?
Hello, nice to see you, Martin Sci-Fi Appeal. We've actually been doing this for just over 2 years. We started in November 2019, so we've already hit the two-year barrier. But the big one to approach now is episode 100. So we're really looking forward to doing that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have some people on board and should be fun. Just to say, we had a lot of difficulties getting the show up and running today. We've had all sorts of technical issues, and Marty's been very patient. I think it was an issue both ends, but whatever. We reset our computer, reset Zoom, reset God knows what else. So we're now here in reality. We're not sounding too robotic, at least not at the moment. And it's good to be here. So how's things in London? How are you? What have you been up to? Anything good?
I got my Superman head.
Oh, how was that?
And I'd just like to thank my friend John for doing a marvellous job, and I will be doing a video about it. It's my Superman bust. Did you not see it on Facebook?
I did. So I didn't know. Yeah. So somebody actually did that for you?
Yeah, he did a marvellous job. It's got glass eyes and everything. He did a marvellous job. So just like to thank you, John. I saw him on Friday when I picked it up. And I'd just like to thank him for doing an exemplary job. So
brilliant. Something you sort of be proud of. I mean, it's because you tend to know lots of people in your area that could do all sorts of things like this. And it's kind of like, I kind of respect that, because in Portsmouth, no one knows anything about anything. So, apart from football. Sorry, maybe it's a bit harsh. Right. But there's not many people on my wavelength, shall we say, who would be into things like creating busts and doing this and making, and it's just, well, you're lucky to have that.
I welcome you to the Nerd Brotherhood.
Yeah, but how do you get to know all these people? Is it through like your channel or on Facebook?
No, I've got friends that are into science fiction and model building and props and cosplay. My friend, he loves doing it. He builds awesome models,
Yeah. I didn't know, because I saw it.
I can't do it. I wish I could do stuff like that. I can't do it. I mean, we dress up and go to cons and make costumes and that. But we haven't been to many conventions over the last 2 years.
I mean, with me, I'm okay with graphic design work. I'm relatively okay at 3D printing stuff, and that's my limit. But even that, I love doing all that stuff. I mean, one of the fun things about doing this show is getting all the graphics together and putting it all together and having fun with it. And like we did the Space 1999 parody at Christmas, and that turned out pretty funny, I thought. I was quite pleased with that.
Apart from the YouTube algorithms.
Oh I mean, I think mine's on there, but it didn't like it. It didn't like the theme tune. You had to change the theme tune.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me play it. It blocked it. I think I was allowed to play it in Bulgaria. I think that was it.
Lucky Bulgaria.
I got a video blocked once. I forgot what it was. Right. A few years ago, I did a video and I used something from it, and it got blocked in every Western country in the world, and the only place you could play it, right, get this, Iran, North Korea, which don't have the internet, North Korea and China. Can you believe that was the
that's
only
amazing
place? And I actually pasted the notification where it played it in 3 of the most dictatorial countries in the world. You know what I mean?
It's funny, my YouTube channel, because the main country that follows me is South Africa, because of the wackhead, the pranks.
Yes,
the others are, the second is the UK, probably because of our wonderful podcast.
Yeah, America, mate. America.
And then it's South Africa, then the UK, then America, and then number 4 is Iraq. It's Iraq. And number 5 is Vietnam. So in my top 5, I've got 2 countries that have been at war with America in the same.
Yeah.
Why Iraq and Vietnam? What are they checking out?
For all we know, we could be big mega.
We could be megas. They could be like going like, "Oh, we're not worthy. We're not worthy."
No,
you can see us getting off the plane, like walking with a, "Yes, it's me. It's me on that channel." It's not, you know. I'll give you one of my 3D printed com badges. There we go. But it's just funny how certain countries, you know, why there? I mean, I would have thought that most of the countries that would follow us would be actually predominantly English speaking.
Oh, Western. Yeah, that's what I.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just find that quite. I don't know. It's just weird the way it works out. Yeah, obviously we're going to go into the Groundhog Day as a review this week. So although we're going to feature it in the news, let me quickly ask, what did you think of episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett? I have to ask you that first because I can't wait until later.
Why did you need to know that now?
Because I just think it's interesting to get your opinion before we go into the news.
All right. I thought you were going to save that as the appetizer towards the end. I really did.
But we're going to talk about the Expanse. We're going to talk about the Expanse.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Just very quickly, what do you think?
I didn't know what to make of that episode last week. I've not seen today's episode.
No, I've not seen it either. I'm going to watch it tonight as well, yeah.
But I watched it and I started off okay.
It did.
Look, I like him. I think he's great, and I like the sense of honour he has. You know, I like all that. But then somewhere it went up its own ass. Somewhere later on, yeah. All right, you've got the Mexican actor, Danny Trejo.
I love seeing him. Yeah, he was good.
Fantastic.
I remember. He's a great actor. I remember him in Con Air. I remember in Breaking Bad, but he ended up as a head on a tortoise shell or whatever it was. Yeah, he's a very funny. He
was in that vampire film with George Clooney. I forgot what that's called.
He's a great actor. He's one of those guys that you always say, it's him.
Matt Chick, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like a bit of a cult actor
Yes, he is. He is a cult. He's a bit like Dick Miller was back in the days. One of those people you see in all these films and shows. Yeah. He just suddenly is there. You know what I mean?
This following, you know.
Yeah, I think it's great.
But look. I watched it. Right, you saw the 2 big jab. What were the huts?
The huts, yeah.
And I don't understand why they're not using anti-gravity. They've just got a load of people carrying.
Yeah, I wondered that. Why they can't have everything else is on anti-gravity? Why they've got all these Muppets who are keeping it up like this? That was a bit weird.
Well, is that meant to be a sense of power then?
I actually know. I think that's done on purpose to make them sort of show that they're dominant, and these are almost like. Okay. I think that's must be done on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's too obvious.
And then there were him that carried on about the water and they were charging so much. And there were these chavs or mods, let's call them mods, you know, from like space mods, right?
But they weren't on speeder bikes, they were on Skoda bikes. They were like, what the hell are they on?
They were like space Lambrettas.
Oh, they were awful.
And they were unemployed. Now, from what I know of Tatooine, I wouldn't want to live there, right?
No.
It's a dump. The place is a dump. Everything's knackered. Technology
hot
don't
and dry
work properly.
And, dilapidated.
Sand and even stormtroopers complain about it.
Yeah.
Yet they're driving around in designer fashion and chrome bikes. And when that scene came, when he was walking down the street, because you know they've all been complaining about the 2 Gamoran guards.
Well, what's wrong with the Gamoran guards? I think they're okay.
Well, they're not fat enough.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, they're okay.
Well, I didn't think. I saw.
No. I think the Gamoran guards. No. I think the guards look fine. I've got no issue with it. I think actually.
Well, I didn't. I never thought.
No problem with that. No
review.
No, and also you're gonna have. They're gonna also. You can get people of different sizes. There might be comparatively, you might get some larger Gamorreans. No, don't worry about that. That's stupid. That's not on.
Well, you know, so he's walking down the street with the mob, right? And that creepy mare dude, his assistant, does a runner.
The slowest speed chase in the history.
Yeah, 4 miles an hour, and then they're going at 3 miles an hour. You know, on
Very Back to the Future. Very Back to the Future.
Yeah. I did post a picture of that. Yeah.
Very.
They're all floating along at 3 miles an hour on chrome-coloured scooter space Lambrettas. Yeah. And they get cyborg implants because it's fashionable. Yet they're all unemployed, and he gave them a job. He said, come and work for me. And I sat through this episode and I just thought, are you... it got worse. No, it got worse. The fucking Rancor thing has got emotional problems.
Yes.
It's got emotional problems. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get annoyed. I'm sorry.
This is why I wanted to ask you before we went into our topic this week. I just thought it was interesting.
There was this thing of this big 20-foot monster that eats people. And they covered its eyes, but they open it up, and first person it sees it gets
it imprints it, and it imprints on. Yeah, it's like a dog.
Yeah, and I mean it's obvious it's there. It's been sent there to knock him off because the trainer said something, you know. And I'm thinking, well, when Luke Skywalker took it on, this thing was vicious. You know.
Yeah, but this is much smaller. This is like a puppy version, isn't it?
What calling it Tiddles and it
Tiddles the Rancor,
yeah. You know, Tiddle. Oh, let me stroke your belly. Go on, go get the stick.
He might do, or a bone, a big large bone or something. I could throw it into his.
You know, and I just sat there. I thought, are you kidding me? You know, last week's episode. I mean, it was that bad. It was hilarious, and it had nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, but also, don't you think his character... I'm getting sick and tired of him being so soft all the time. Just shoot somebody with a blaster or something. Stop being such a bloody mupp. He's so like...
Somebody put up a picture yesterday. You know when he got surrounded by them assassins with force shields?
Yeah.
Well, there's a picture underneath. Well, just turn your jetpack on and fly over them.
Because last week he came down from the jetpack.
Well, it did.
So it's obviously working. I don't know.
It's just not working, is it, this series so far?
Yeah, but it's
not working, is it? And then them poor Tusken Raiders, who I did like.
That was the best bit of the show. The flashbacks has been the best bit.
Well, they haven't been killed. They've been put into slavery and he's going to save them.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just, at the moment, like I said, we're not even fully halfway through. The halfway through today. Yeah. And the episode title is something like The Oncoming Storm or something, which is suggests that it's all going to start getting heavy now.
What, The Oncoming Storm?
Something like that. It's something like that. I can't remember the name. It's like that.
What,
something
The Oncoming Storm?
Yeah.
Well, he's not being very Boba Fett, is he?
No.
Is it? And where's his ship?
I want to see that as well. Apparently it won't be called Slave One because it's offensive, apparently.
I bet the Jawas have nicked it. I mean, if I had my word, shoot them little.
There was a trailer. We saw a trailer where we saw him, and it was in a garage. It was actually covered up, and we see him walking along towards it with Fennec. So I think please, can we see it in episode 4? Can we just see the ship? I want to see some ships. I want to go to space. I want a space battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've got to be careful because if you have him going to different planets, it becomes the Mando, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, but this is kind of like. I don't mind.
It don't suit him being a crime lord, does it?
Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing is that something's going to happen. It's going to turn everything around, and when you see it on reflection, once it's all done, you'll realise it was actually quite good. And the thing is, though, look, Filoni and what's his name? They're both the two. All the people in the Mandalorian are doing this. So unless they just fluked with Mandalorian and got it right. You know, I'm surprised because I read today. Ming-Na Wen has said it all changes after episode 4. So so we might have a big thing tonight.
From today, we're moving into the badass stuff.
Well, it might have just been a bad one. Like every show that we've liked has had some real terrible episodes.
Yeah, all right.
So and episode 1 and 2, in its defense,
it stays.
Episode 2 was brilliant. Episode 1 was good.
It was.
Episode 3 was pants, or mostly pants, semi-pants. It's not It's not the worst thing, but the first half of it actually was okay. It's until we saw that terrible Skoda bunch of cyborgs. That's when it went off.
So where do they because everybody wears rags on that planet, and there's sand in everything. Well, how can they? Where do they? Is there like a shopping centre there then, like a Westfields?
Like a Bental Centre or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There.
Next,
Is that round the back?
Yeah,
because where did they get the
next Tatooine branch? Yeah, the next Tatooine branch. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You know, but everybody's bloody miserable on that planet. They're all walking around carrying on over water and the rest of it. And then there's them, you know, like on Space Vespers.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing an Empire element as well. I mean, I don't mind the kind of underworld, but I do miss the Empire because the Empire is always part of Star Wars. And I don't know what to think. All I know is that Mandalorian.
I'm telling you,
but he got killed off though, didn't he? He got killed off. Somebody was saying about that. He died in Rebels.
Oh.
I'm sure he died. I don't think he can come back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he got killed off.
How can I be so?
No. Because you said the other week, and I thought, hang on a minute, and then somebody else said, no, he died.
Well, exactly. No, it's not. No, because my mate said to me, "Yeah, you're right." Because Darth Maul got it, and Obi-Wan died in Star Wars, and this is after Endor. You're right.
Yeah, that's
so
what
Darth
I'm saying.
Maul's not around.
No,
so I've got that totally wrong.
Well, no, but you can understand. You might have thought that. I mean, it's kind of like...
You know who it is? Because my mate said to me, do you remember Solo? Well, if he's gone, well, who took over that criminal organisation?
His girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend.
Solo's ex-girlfriend, yeah.
The Crimson, was it Crimson Dawn?
Crimson Dawn money or something.
Yeah, but I think
I apologise. I forgot. I didn't realise.
No. I forgot as well. But eventually, I kind of like.
You're right. Because he got it. Obi-Wan did him when Luke Skywalker was.
But back in Solo, because Solo was set before. That's why he was live with
Solo. Yeah, it's there. I'm telling you, it's that criminal organisation.
Yeah, I think it's Crimson Dawn. Yeah.
Because it's rumoured Han Solo's going to make an appearance.
I think the guy that does the not green screen, what's it called, the deep fake, he's been hired by Lucasfilm to be in these, so they're going to be able to show characters de-aged like they've done so good on YouTube. Yeah. So I reckon we'll see somebody, and all you're going to do is get Harrison Ford to lend him his voice, do a bit of voice work.
And then they can sync it up. Pay him a shitload of money.
Yeah, that's what. Because he wouldn't even have to come on to the actual studio. Yeah. He could just send an MP3 over to them and bang it on, and that's it. You know what I mean?
I think it could be that guy that played Lando. I'd like to see Lando turn up.
But by this point, it would be the older Lando, wouldn't it? It would be Billy D. Williams era.
He was at the Battle of Endor,
Jedi. It's after Return of the Jedi.
Well, he'll be in his 40s now, won't
he? So it would
late 30s.
They couldn't have the younger one from Solo.
No, but Solo was 6 years ago, though. Just do his hair up or whatever. But somebody big is coming into this series. They've got to put somebody in for the connection. They've got to. Oh, so look, I apologise. I got it wrong on Darth Maul. I got it wrong because I forgot about Rebels. I forgot about it.
As I knew would happen, we've gone into a big Star Wars chat, but it's interesting. Let's hope tonight, when we've seen episode 4, we're going to come on next week and say, "Oh, we were so wrong." This is, I don't know. I'm trying not to get my hopes up because I think that my expectations of Boba Fett, I have to admit, were more than I've got so far. But like I said, episodes 1 and 2 were good, especially episode 2. But let's just see.
Right.
So let's go into our topic, and then we'll talk about some news at the end, and talk about, you've obviously seen The Expanse as well. I want to hear about that. So let's go into a time loop film, which is very well known. Here we go.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
All right, so this is a film from, I think, 1991, something like that. It was, I think it was made early 90s. It was a film with Bill Murray, and it really was one of the first films which featured time loop in a way which was not only just clever, but it was actually a comedy as well. But it was a very clever film. It was more than that. And that was, of course, Groundhog Day. So I can't remember the first time I saw this. I think I'd seen... Because there's another film I'll review in a couple of weeks with you when we're free. Is a film called 12:01 p.m., which is a guy stuck in a time loop for an hour. And I've got a copy of it. It's just a really, really great little short story. But before that, I'd seen Star Trek Next Generation did an episode called Cause and Effect, where the Enterprise collides with another starship, explodes, it gets reset, and it goes again and again and again. And they start to realise that they've done this before. It's another really good one. So, Groundhog Day, when did you first see it? What did you think about it? Was it a very memorable first experience when you saw it?
I saw it at the cinema, Groundhog Day.
Oh, you would see it? Okay. Was it really big then when it came out? I mean, I can't remember how big
I went
it was
on the night out before I went nightclubbing. I went to see it with a couple of friends.
Right.
I loved it. I remember going to the pub, actually. And, yeah, it was very Bill Murray, isn't it?
Yeah, I like his humour. I've seen a lot of Bill Murray films, and I've always liked him. I'm seeing even if it's like things like Stripes or Caddyshack. You know, all his films. He's got this kind of
because I'm going to recommend.
Don't give a damn kind of thing.
After this, I'm going to recommend a film he did, which is Off the Radar.
Oh, Off the Radar. I've not seen that.
Yeah, I discovered it on VHS. Is
it good?
Yeah, no. Well, I'll tell you after we've discussed Groundhog Day.
All right, brilliant. Okay,
amazing.
Okay. So I mean, I first saw it. Like I said, I was only familiar with Bill Murray at that point because I'd seen the Ghostbusters films, and of course I've seen some other films since then. But I like the fact that it starts off with this awful grumpy guy who's a weatherman, and he has to sort of Punxsutawney Phil and report on this groundhog festivity every February 2nd, and he doesn't want to go. And of course, he wakes up, and you've got the Sonny and Cher music going off, and of course, he starts to think what's going on here. And what I like about the film is that it starts off confused, then it becomes comedic because he thinks I don't give a damn, then it becomes suicide because he just can't stand it anymore, and then it's almost like redemption. It's more like, well, look, I'm here, let's just make the best out of it. And I just like the fact that it's kind of has like the 4 stages of interpreting this phenomenon that he's going with, and of course he's got nobody else to share this with because they get reset. And I just thought it was just a very, very unique film. I think it only works because Bill Murray. Did he co-write it? I know Harold Ramis was involved with it, who was on Ghostbusters.
Probably, I don't know.
I think Harold Ramis is the one that wrote it, and he's obviously a good writer. And I think he fell out a lot with Bill Murray during the making of the film. Apparently, Bill Murray.
Yeah, he regretted
I think Bill Murray's quite hard to film with. Apparently, he's got a very kind of I don't give a damn kind of attitude.
Well, there's a story about him. I read. Apparently, somebody was in McDonald's, and Bill Murray walked in and took one of the fries, and he said to that person, he said, "Nobody's going to believe I've done that to you." Did. You know, but apparently he's a good person. He donates a lot to charity and stuff, and he's right into social housing. He's an interesting character, Bill Murray.
He is interesting. I think he's quite a free spirit. He's kind of like he just does what he wants to do, not in an antisocial way, but just like what kind of meets the parameters of what he wants.
He's never played the Hollywood line at all.
No. But maybe that's partly his appeal, is that he's not kind of like a normal Hollywood drone and going through the motions and stuff like that. A bit like, reminds me a bit of Ricky Gervais, who's a bit like that. He's another one who's kind of a bit of a free spirit, and he knows how to make comedy and get away with it, kind of thing.
Well, I saw a film with him a couple of years ago where he went to live in Japan.
Oh, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, he's very cynical in it, and then he meets this woman, and she.
That's right.
I've got unraveling his whole personality.
It was quite a good
fascinating film.
Yeah. It wasn't a broad comedy, but it was more comedy stroke drama, but it was still a good film. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, the thing is, the Groundhog Day. I used to fancy Andy McDowell. Really, she was a babe. I mean, you don't hear from her now.
No, she was also on that.
I've not seen her in years.
She was on that Love Actually, was it? That film, that romantic film with Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, yeah.
Yeah, and with Rowan Atkinson was in that. So she was in that. But no, I've not seen her for many years. I have no idea what she's doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Bill Murray recently in Ghostbusters Afterlife. There wasn't a lot in it, but he was good in what we saw of him in it.
Yeah.
You know? Obviously, he's older now. But yeah, I just think it's a very, very clever film. I mean, it's a film that really couldn't have had a sequel because we know this character.
No.
That's as far as you could go. I mean, do you think it eventually could be remade? Like, I know I asked this quite a
I
lot
think
about
it's one of them for just leave it alone.
I agree. It's
just leave it because the film. I mean, I watch it every couple of years. It's one of them films you pick up, you enjoy it. It's in the special category, isn't it?
It's special, absolutely.
Like Trading Places and films.
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Ferris
exactly.
Bueller's Day Off. Yeah. Every couple of years, it's one of them films you really appreciate. And Groundhog Day, it is genius. This cynical guy that's up his own ass, and he's so out for himself, and that in the end, his only way out is to get her to notice him.
Yeah. I mean,
because she's such a nice person, isn't she? And he's, and I think she does actually quite like him because he learns humility, doesn't he? Do you remember that ice sculpture in Percy?
Well, no, he's learned all these skills. He becomes a piano player and ice sculptor because he's had so much time there. He's had the chance to learn these new abilities because, I mean, I think that somebody said that he'd been there for almost like centuries or something in that.
Yeah, well, it must have been centuries.
A long time, a lot of loops, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's why he's become a more intelligent because he's had all that time to learn these skills but it's only been in one day in real life, which is quite cool.
But the minute them two fall in love with each other, it ends.
That's my next question. So do you think that was the whole point? Yeah, it was finally got it right and finally clicked with her, and that's why you're out of the loop, which is quite interesting.
So what's behind it then? Is there a power behind it?
I don't know. I've wondered that as well as I've seen it over the years. Whether there's something, whether it's a bit like Quantum Leap, where there's something which is moving out Sam Beckett around, whether it's something similar which is keeping him stuck, and then once he's got to the point where he's a better person and he can now form a long-term relationship, that's when he can then proceed in real time. It's quite deep. I like that kind of philosophy in certain things.
Yeah, it's a very intelligent film.
I love that. So that's always a sign of something when, even so many years afterwards, when you watch the film, and I watch it again and again, even though it's a film with lots of loops, but I still come back and watch it every year or 2 years. I normally watch it about this time when we're in the middle of winter, which I can't stand, and it's kind of like, it's beginning of Feb, and it's kind of like, well, normally beginning of Feb, it's the first sign of, some change in the season towards getting, so I hate winter. But no, I think it's a very, very solid film. I really did enjoy watching it, but it made me watch a couple of other films. I mean, I mentioned 12:01 p.m., which we've got to see because you're like that. But there's another couple. There's one called Palm Springs, which was about a guy who's in a loop, but we meet him when he's been in the loop for a long time already, and then he gets involved with this girl, and then she gets stuck in the loop, and there's another guy, and that was quite good. And then there was another film called Happy Death Day, which was another loop with a woman who wakes up in a student dorm after she's had a night out with this younger guy, and then it ends up with this guy who's like in a clown mask who kills her, and then it's more of a horror. But so what I'm saying is there's quite a few examples of time loops in these different films and TV shows. Stargate had Winners of Opportunity. Star Trek had Cause and Effect.
Yeah.
What other? Russian Doll was another TV series which is very time loop. I've told you about that before. But that's very good with this woman who ends up in a loop in New York. That was good. And check that out at some point. So, a very good film. I'm really glad that they did it. I think that it all came together very well. I mean, I don't think there's a ton more I can say about it, really. But I'm really glad it's a success. And it did well in the box office, didn't it? It was quite a successful film.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the type of film you'd watch at this time of year as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like going back to Trading Places at Christmas and stuff like that. And I often like, although we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I tend to watch Planes, Trains and Automobiles around that time of year. I love that. Because that's such one of my all-time favourite comedies.
I love that film. We'll have to cover that at some point.
Yeah. We could do a non-sci-fi one. That's a good film as well.
Definitely.
I mean, it's amazing that so many films that talk about you, Martin, and you say, yeah, I love that. We've seen so many films independent of the podcast, which is always a good sign. But yeah, great film.
There's a film we did before we finish on this. There's a film we did. I forgot what it's called. I've only seen it once.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
He plays a bank robber.
Okay.
Does Bill Murray. And he turns up in this bank dressed as a clown.
Okay, as you do.
Dressed as the clown. I think there's some other, and there's a police officer out. They surround the bank. He holds them all hostage, and he's dressed as the clown, and he robs the bank.
Oh, that's ringing a bell now. That's starting to sound familiar.
He's got to get out, and it's genius how he gets away with it. You know, and there's this police is obsessed in getting him because he's a clown, and so when it comes to like getting out, he takes the clown thing off, and he walks out because they all think he's an hostage, and it's genius. And this police, there's something not right. He can't put his finger on it.
Wow.
You know, and it goes on for 2 hours about him in this clown suit robbing this bank, and he don't kill anybody. He just goes into.
He just goes for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's obviously
him.
What was it called? What was it called? Do you remember what it's called?
No, you'll have to look in his
IMDb.
It's worth a look because the twist at the end. From what I remember, he's got a balloon, and he's dressed as a full-on clown with makeup, you know, and this ridiculous clown. And when they're all surrounded, bank is coming out in his clown outfit, going, "Do not make him up." You know, and I think there's 2 of them, and there's somebody outside helping him. But it's genius how he gets away with it. I never forgot that film. I rented it on VHS, and I don't know why I went it. One of them, it went way under the radar. But I was so impressed with this movie. You know, but it's one of them I only watched once.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to see what it might have been called. He's done quite a lot of films actually. Do you know whenabouts it was released?
It will have been in the 90s or late 80s. I just googled Bill Murray in a clown suit, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm already in this.
It's a clown.
What about Bob's another good one? Remember that one? Quick Change. Maybe it's a Quick Change.
It could be that. Yeah, it could be. It sounds similar to.
Yeah, Three Thieves, Society Robber, New York.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's got Gina Davis in it. Oh, okay, I'll give that a go.
Give it a go because there's this idiot police officer in it who's trying to, because they can't figure it out. It's genius how he plays this, how he gets away with it.
You can see him there as a clown.
Yeah, that's it. I've not seen that in about 25 years.
Yeah, okay, I'll give that a go.
Give it a go because I think there's this incredible twist at the ending. But when the surrounding bank is coming out in clown suit and balloon, that's talking to him, you know, and he's really sarcastic. Yeah. But I don't know. I never saw. One of them movies that went under the radar.
Yeah, you get that. That's what I'm saying. This is why it's good to kind of get to know people, and there's some films that I hear about and I think, oh my god, I would never have seen that. It's like I'm going to be watching UFO soon, which you told me about. So
yes,
I'm going to talk about that.
Yes.
And we'll do a show on that in the next 3 or 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll definitely do that. All right, so just to round up, a classic film. Really glad that it was to me, it's the pinnacle Bill Murray movie that I've seen. Obviously, Ghostbusters is another one of his big ones. Stripes was good as well.
I love Stripes.
Stripes is good. So yeah, thank you for that. And I'm really glad that you checked that out. And check it out if you haven't seen it yourself, especially on Groundhog Day, which is about 2 weeks from the time of recording this. It's on the 2nd of Feb. So it's
that's an actual festival. What they have in America?
It is. Yeah, I watched it live last year. They did it on Skype or whatever it was, and they on YouTube, and I watched it live. And I think I told you about that last year, or was it the year before?
You did.
And it was really quiet because, of course, and they had these like stand-up sort of pictures of people as pretending to be the crowd because they couldn't have a large crowd, which is really, really sad. So hopefully, I don't know about this year, but it will hopefully start to get people going like they have in the last 150 years, something like that. A long time it's been going, apparently. So, And like I said, how they got the idea of using that for the film of a time loop story. Brilliant writing, brilliant idea, and it really paid off. So, well done, Martin, and well done, Bill Murray. All right, on that note, I think we've got a bit of news. Let's go into the jingle, and we've got a few things to talk about. Here we go.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi News.
All right, first off, I think we'll go into one of the big ones. We're going to talk about the expansion in a second, because we've just seen that. But let's quickly talk about all the Star Trek release news, which I only heard this morning from our recording time. Star Trek Discovery Season 5 has now been confirmed, but it's only going to be 10 episodes. It's slightly shorter season, though. It's only going to be 10 episodes. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has already been renewed, even though we've not seen 1 second of it in real time.
And we've seen the poster, haven't we? We've seen the poster.
We saw a poster. Yeah, we've seen one poster. Oh no, I think we saw a very brief clip of something. We saw the new Anar. We saw the blind Andorian. And we did see the crew very, very briefly, but it's very basic thing. And Star Trek Picard is that's already been renewed. So. How do you feel about that? I mean, no real big surprises, really, but it's good news, I suppose.
Well, I'm sat on the fence.
Yeah.
You know, I'm intrigued by Star Trek Picard because of Q. That's the only reason. I'm
more interested in season 3 because I think that's going to be more of them on a starship.
Because this is like the middle chapter,
this is the middle one, but I know it's only going to be 3 seasons long, apparently.
Is John Delancey in both seasons then?
No, I think he's only in the middle one. He's only in the season 2. Right. I don't think he's in season 3.
And he'll probably turn up at final episode of season 3 then.
Maybe. I mean, I know that. Like I said, I know it's going to be on the Starship season 3, which I'm really excited about. And the Akudas and all the people in Next Generation are designing the ship. And as a ship guy, a Starfleet guy, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I think season 2 might be interesting. This alternate timeline kind of thing. I love that sort of stuff. But
I do.
It's got to be done right. You know, I don't know. I'm very skeptical, a bit skeptical.
Anything with John Delancey and that it piques my interest, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm more interested in Strange New Worlds.
So everybody's more interested in Strange New Worlds. I mean, that's the big one. That's the big one.
I'm hoping they get this right this time. I really do.
I'm not going to get my hopes up. Every time I get my hopes up with something, I end up disappointed. So I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to be open to it. I'm going to expect surprises that I didn't think, because this happens all the shows that we watch long term. It always goes somewhere we think, I would have done that. They've gone there, they've done that, and every time, and that's always puts us off. And that's the problem.
Well, it was like Picard season 1. I liked it up until episode 7, and then it went up itself.
You did. Yeah, you really came down.
After that, I just thought I ain't got time for that. Is this where you've gone with it?
Yeah.
When they're going on about this new threat and all this, and you know, the whole Romulan thing, I thought I'm interested in this, and then it just sunk itself. I'm fed up of investing in certain series where you spend a lot of time watching this stuff, and then you get to the final part of it, and it
all sort of like implodes, crashes down. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why The Mandalorian was so good, because it not only got to a point where I never thought it would go, it just went, whoa, that was so cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm not going to go on about Book of Boba Fett, but it might suddenly rocket up and then, oh my God, they've gone there. So let's just say.
Well, I can guarantee that in the next 2 months, in the sci-fi collector shops, you'll be able to buy action figures with Space Lambrettas.
Are you going to have one in your...
That was an advert. That was the... And when
I bet you could 3D print it. You could 3D print it as well.
Yeah, when you go to a convention, they're all going to be dressed up like that.
What, with the cyborg guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's strange because this week I've been going through Doctor Who's. I've been watching loads from all different eras. And I hate to admit it, but watching the Jodie Whittaker episodes, when you mix them together, it's not as bad as all that. I think that it's about what you expect when it starts, and then it doesn't go to where you think it's going to go. And it's strange that, you know, because I've heard now that apparently this is a big rumor, which is probably not going to happen, but there's a big rumor that guess who's going to be the 14th Doctor? You're going to really like. You're going
to be Danny Dyer.
No, not Danny Dyer. Well, do you know who? No. David Tennant. Apparently, there's a lot of people saying he may well come back as the Doctor again. I don't know. I think that's a big. But you know that the BBC would know that.
Well, I thought he could. I thought he could on it.
Well, so can you? Could he not come back as a different? But David Tennant looking.
Well, he did say when he became Capaldi, he took the face from that.
He took
Capaldi
it from the that character in Pompeii.
Chose the face, so he could choose the Tennant face. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Tennant back. I don't care if
that's the thing is everybody would love to see him back, and you know how good it would be if he was back. I don't know. His
career's doing really well though. He's doing quite.
Yeah, but he might just need to do a couple of years now. I mean, he did it before. He loved doing it, and he's a huge Doctor Who fan. And his father-in-law was the fifth Doctor, for crying out loud. So I mean, you never know. And he's got the money; he could probably afford to do that. And it's a big cult thing.
What about Danny Dyer then?
I don't know. Would you want Danny Dyer?
What, Danny Dyer coming out at TARDIS? You know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, that's the EastEnders guy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he did all the Football Factory. He's like the Cockney actor, isn't he?
Would you like to see a Cockney Doctor? A Cockney Doctor? Would you want to see
Danny
that?
Dyer. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, he's done some good movies.
They've had Northern.
I like the
they've
business.
had Northern Doctors.
He were great in the business, you know. But
they've had a Sheffield Doctor. They've had a Northern England Doctor. They've had a Scottish Doctor. You know,
you're going to expect he'll come out in a Crombie at TARDIS. You know,
I don't think. No, I don't.
Dressed up like Del Boy coming out at TARDIS.
Yeah, I don't think that would work. No, I don't think that would work.
No, I mean, what from Jodie Whittaker to Danny Dyer? I mean, can you picture that? Really?
Well, you have Peter Capaldi to Jodie Whittaker, so anything can happen, really.
So when Danny Dyer regenerates, and when Jodie Whittaker, he's got her brown and panties on, he stood there in her clothes.
Do you know? I was thinking,
Whitcock. Well, that's what if she comes a man, they're going to be, you know.
Well, I was wondering that if the next Doctor is a man, surely once the regeneration's over, the clothes are going to be really tight up against the new Doctor's physical body. Well, that's what I thought,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's going to be entertaining to see how they play that off.
Oh, I mean, it's rumours are going around like mad, but I mean, I'd like to see
Tennant. I'd be up for Tennant coming.
Yeah, I'd be up for Tennant as well, and he could play it in a slightly different spin or something. He could play it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's more of a guarantee to get big viewing figures if they got David Tennant back, and if he was offered enough, if he had offered enough, he would take it. You know, so.
Oh, definitely. I think he might do.
Also,
but I'd want about 5 years with him. No, I don't want 3 years. I want a lot more.
The thing is, though, the episode that features the regeneration is going to be the anniversary episode, the 60th anniversary episode next year. So, if it's an anniversary story...
Oh, no, I thought they were regenerating this year. I don't want to wait till...
Well, no, you'll get... No, I know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but apparently it's going to be...
Is that on New Year's Day, then? End of year, that's when it's going to happen, then?
No, we're going to get one at Easter. Then we're going to get the BBC's anniversary thing in October. And then as far as I know, that's it until...
Yeah, but there'll be a New Year's Day one.
I don't think there is going to be one. No, I don't think so. The first I've heard is there's going to be a year... There's going to be another whole year's gap between that episode and the first episode of The New Doctor, which will be the November 2023.
No, it's got to be this year. It's got to be. Because they've got to... Sometime this year it's going to be announced.
Well, and then it's going into production soon.
They've got to get a series out by
I don't know. Yeah, that's what maybe you're right. I don't know.
So it'll be 2024 by the time we get to see it.
Yeah,
Well, what's the point?
Well, I know, exactly.
I've got things to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
You know, what's the point? If they're bringing it back in 2024, then there's no point bringing it back. It's got to be done this year. You know, I'm sick of this arsenal.
They're going into production. Apparently, Russell T Davies is going to start doing his slot in it in the next couple of months, which means that they must be doing something before November 2063. Because why would they do it with a year and a half's wait until it's finally shown on the TV?
What's going to happen this year? You remember what they did with her when she come out of the you remember that Sunday we all sat there?
After the tennis, like here I am. Yeah.
And then we saw a pair of legs, and then we all thought, well, that's a female. And then she...
That's right, and it sort of pans up, and then she's...
Yeah, they're going to do that. That's coming this year.
Well, I would have thought so, yeah. I don't know. It's just a long wait, isn't it? I mean, that's the problem. It's a long wait. So, who knows? Like I said, it's rumours abound. But I can't see. Like I said, all I know is apparently Russell T Davies' first episode is the anniversary, which is next year, which doesn't make sense to me because unless they do it, that they film it,
they're gonna do. She's gonna regenerate.
Maybe. What about if they film it? I don't know. I know she's regenerating in November or October or something. I don't know. So I don't know. It's apparently she's finished. She's done a regeneration scene, so they'll have to do it so that whoever takes over will have to recreate the scene and then get into her clothes and then go on from there. And I know that the TARDIS set has been destroyed, so I assume that the regeneration will not be in the TARDIS.
I don't like it.
No, but it's been apparently the current design of it has been destroyed now. So she technically will regenerate off the TARDIS, I assume.
Right, good.
Anyway, that's enough for Doctor Who. Now, Expanse. We've just seen it. What did you think of it? You liked it? Spoiler alert. What do you think of it? That good?
Marvelous.
I enjoyed it.
Marvelous.
What did you think of Marcus's death? And was it on the ship? Because he was it the discs? If you enter them in a certain way, it can kill you. Is that right? How can they kill something?
It's something about the energy level. If you go above a certain energy level, it activates the entities that are within it that destroy.
Destroys
they're
the
entities. They're like, from what I did do a bit of reading up on because there's one storyline in it that was left open.
Right.
And I know why they've done that, and I totally get it. And I also think this isn't the end of it either, because
it must be. They must do something else. It's been left
9
open.
books now. I've checked on book 7, and it's interesting. Now, what? Well, we'll go into like the whole thing, right? When it started, it like last series, it was all about them and the human side, which it wasn't as impactful, but it was good. You know, because you found out about the backgrounds and all this. And I enjoyed that because it was nice to get to know them all. And the main character, James, he was held back, which I thought were a good idea. It let the others shine, and I loved that. Because I like Amos, mate. I think he's such a cool character, you know.
He's a bit unstable, though. A bit unstable.
Yeah. But he's inspired by that James oldness, isn't he? Because he's quite a decent human being, even though you don't want to mess with it. But now episode 1 and 2 were moving greatly, and then we got episode 3, and I was at the edge of my seat. And because he's insane, that Anaris fella. He was just bonkers. He sacrificed them all on that station, didn't he? He said, "Oh, they're not my problem. But these are people you're meant to be helping." It was all about him and his lust for power. So he got screwed over by the Admiral from the Mars thing, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
But I love the scene where he's got 5 warships and he outguns the Rocinante. And he turns around, because that woman, she was quite sensible. She said, look, he says, I can't believe we've got him on our scanners. He said, we outgun him 5-1. And she said, don't go for him. Ignore him. Let's just keep going to the ring.
Yeah, that's right.
And he said, no. And let's say, and he took them all out. He just turned that ship round and he took them out. And he had him do that man-off thing, you know, over the monitor. And he said, he warned him. He said, look, if you don't say I'm going to take you out, I'm just going to fucking end it.
That's right.
You know, but he didn't. And then he disarmed the torpedo because he saw where...
At the end, that's just, that's right. And he saw it, I know,
And he made sense. I don't want to be the man who you love knowing that I killed your child. I can't live with that. I don't want...
I was surprised he'd win there. I was surprised that he thought like that. But it was clever the way he did it.
He's one of them people. He's inspirational, isn't he? He is a good person, but
he is a good person. Yeah. He wouldn't mess with him.
She said,
but he's got good morals. He's got good morals.
Yeah.
But he's
he inspired that Amos to be better than what he was, didn't he? He inspired him, didn't he?
Yeah,
you know,
that's right. Yeah.
And that female president, she says that I can't understand how.
The one with the smoker's voice. She's the one with the smoker's voice like this.
Oh, yeah. But she turned around and said, somebody's optimistic as you and up your ass should be dead by now. You know, and he played all of it.
The whole system, I know he did.
Even at the end, when he got that position.
Yeah, and then he steps down and gives, he's like, no. My first thing as the head of the Agricultural Commission, whatever it's called, like, I'm stepping down. And I was like, oh, God. Yeah. And she goes, don't you do it. Sorry, I can't do that voice.
And he said, what are you going to do about it? He said,
I can't do anything.
No, I can't do anything.
You know, because he changed. I mean, the battle scene in the ring when they took out the rail guns, that was incredible. The whole Marine thing, I was just, what a way to finish. Now, I can tell you why it finished the way it did.
Tell me, because you know more about this than I do. So tell me why it finished the way it did.
I've not read the books. I'm actually thinking that Book 9 is out in March. It's the final part of it.
Oh, it's still not released yet? Well, I didn't know it's still to be released. From what I read,
that these entities, they live in another universe or something. They live in like... So when they pass through the ring things, it affects their universe.
Right.
I think it's damaging. It's something to do with energy. I could be wrong. But what I'm reading on Wikipedia, but they wiped out the proto-molecule aliens. There was some war. Now, they exist. It's something to do with energy. When you go across a certain point, it wakes them up.
Right.
But when we use the rings, I think it affects them. It tears into their reality. But they are malevolent anyway. So now they want to exterminate us. Now, the story is, do you remember the other Martians that went through in the last series at the end?
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them got destroyed. It's only a couple of ships.
Only some of them got
destroyed. Of them went to that planet, Lucania or something. Well, they cut the ring off. They cut it off. Well, it's so they get hold of a load of technology and build a load of highly advanced starships and attack the solar system 40 years later.
Oh, wow. Really?
Because they create their own civilization and then they come in and they're more advanced. Well, he's older. So, and the Admiral's obsessed in getting immortality. That Admiral, when you saw him, he's obsessed with immortality. Remember that kid that come back?
Yeah. After he died. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing that was the most interesting. That's what the only thing I got was that I thought that the whole issue with the child who's come back from the dead because of the alien entities was going to be pursued. It just literally stopped. Well, that's the only thing. That's what I didn't like.
There's a lot more going on here, but they couldn't make season 7 because it's set 30 to 40 years in the future.
Maybe the child would be more of an adult or something like that.
Well, they've got to look older as well because he's the one that deals with all this. I know where this is all going. I've got the joke because I've been reading up on Wikipedia and other stuff, but it makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense to finish where they finished, but I've got a feeling in the next few years that I think it's going to come back to finish it off. And because I
suppose it depends on how well it does on Amazon. It's an Amazon show, isn't it? So whether it's a very popular show. I mean, I know
that's what's weird about it. It is popular, but it's not a major hit. Well, it is sort of a hit, but it's got a fan base.
It's not. Yeah, but it's more of a cult thing.
Not like a global.
It's a bit less mainstream, isn't it? It's kind of got its. Yeah. I think it's because it's just your average mainstream person wouldn't get it.
Yeah, but that's where we are. There's so much more. There's 3 more books, and that's why we got. Because I were like wondering with the kid coming back from there. I thought, what's going on here? Because they kept going to it at the beginning of each episode, and then we moved up, but that was forgotten about.
That's right.
And then next episode at the beginning there was something else, that a little girl, and and then weird dog creatures.
That's right.
And all this was going on, but there's like 30, 40 years later, you're going to get all your answers to this. Because when they went through in the last series, them Martians, they took a load of that proto-molecule with them, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's right. Something I forgot. Some of these aspects I forgot.
Yeah, because that Admiral used that Marco Anaris to cause so much trouble in the solar system to keep all the other powers off his back. And that's it. Because Earth gets restored in next book. The proto-molecule restores Earth. They restore Earth, they get it sorted out.
So
there's a lot going on here.
But so you're saying you're saying on purpose, rather than trying to finish it up and kind of like streamline it, they kind of got to the point where, look, this is what happens in the books. We're going to stop it here with the more of the element of the issue with the Belters and the Martians and the humans.
Yeah.
That bit's kind of done. There's a lot more going on. Let's see what happens in the future. Which is left open.
More into the aliens now and all agendas and this. That.
But it makes me very, very keen to see that continued in some form, whether it be a spin-off. I think they're being clever here because they're going to see whether it's one of those shows that sometimes you can get a slow burn show which is more cult, then it suddenly just gets noticed and it's out there. And so, like I said, I reckon it'd be good if they do continue it at some point. Whether they ever do, I don't know. But no, I'm glad that I've seen it. I don't know whether you got me into that or we've been talking about Expanse ever since we've been doing the show, so I don't know whether.
I think
did we see it separately?
No, I told you about it because I just started. I didn't get into Expanse till about season 2. It was like Dark Matter because I was connected.
And you got me into Dark Matter as well. Dark Matter as well.
It came out at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
And
that's right.
I came into it a couple of years later and then I started watching it, and that I was hooked. So then I caught up with season 3, and that's where I went in by that time.
Right.
But that's where we are. But there's 9 books and there's 3 more, and there's a load of stuff to be honest. I'm gonna buy the books. I'm thinking about when that new final book comes out.
Go for it. Maybe they're like a compilation of all of them or something. Yeah. Well, I just think that again, wonderful production values, wonderfully acted. It's definitely a cult classic. I am also surprised it's not as big as, say, like Battlestar Galactica when that came out, the remake.
No,
because that was quite big.
It didn't. Sci-Fi dropped it. They just dumped it.
Yeah.
Why do that? Sci-Fi. I don't know. Sci-Fi do that quite a lot with stuff. They get.
I never looked at anything on Sci-Fi. I mean, I
watched Sci-Fi in years.
No, I've not. I mean, I used to remember when it used to be on. It was Battlestar Galactica and like Stargate Atlantis and shows.
Well,
like
apparently they show a lot of wrestling now on Sci-Fi channel.
What's that for? What's the point of having wrestlers on a Sci-Fi channel?
Apparently it's popular.
Do you like wrestling? I mean, we like Sci-Fi. Should we like wrestling as well? Because I don't want to watch bloody wrestling.
No, don't bother with it.
No, thank you. Sorry.
I like the Sci-Fi channel in the early days.
Yes, I remember the logo and stuff like that. Sci-Fi channel,
and then it all
with a planet at the side. Yeah, and then it changed. That's what it's. That's what it lost it. That's what it lost.
They show a lot of them cheap, nasty movies now, don't they? But it's all cheap, nasty stuff.
No, it's strange, isn't it? I guess it's one of those things that it's. Don't be called the Sci-Fi Channel if you're just going to show sport. I mean.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I remember reading something about it. It's just I can't bother with it. I don't have Sky anymore. I ain't have Sky.
No. I mean, like I said, I was at my mum's today and she had the live TV on, and I said to her, like, "How can you watch this stuff?" And she had it on mute, and it was just this adverts for life insurance. And like, had this smiling old lady looking at the sun and the old man and giving her a bunch of flowers, and you too can claim for this and you can get this, and we're thinking about you in your older years. And I think, it was just like, how can you watch that crap? I mean, how can people sit there watching live TV? It is utter shite. There is nothing on hardly live TV. It's terrible. I mean, and my mum said, that she watched something and she timed how long the adverts were in between. It was a 20-minute show. It was on for 9.5 minutes of adverts in between. Sit there. I mean, I mean, what's the point of breathing when you just got that? I mean, no point. I just don't understand why that stuff is going on.
I'm not going to get political, but I have a big question for you.
Okay, what's that?
I'm not getting political, but what do you think to the announcement of the BBC?
What announcement on the BBC?
Well, Nadine Dorries, that politician, they're going to get rid of license in 2027, and freezing the payments now.
I've not heard anything about this. I've not heard.
Well, she announced it on Sunday. There's been a lot of carry on about it, but it's looking like they're going to make it where people. It's not going to be illegal not to pay your license anymore.
Well, if they do
they're bringing it in,
Well, I think they're going to have to because people aren't paying for it now, and they haven't got the resources.
And they've had the funding cut. They get $3 billion a year or something. Which
what do they make for $3 billion a year? They don't make anything.
Well, they used to do. They get
Dancing on Ice, whatever it is, that dancing thing every bloody night.
Yeah, well, they get $2.5 billion because they got the budgets cut, didn't they?
And even Doctor Who is going to be partly funded from this Bad Wolf company.
Sony as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's so by 2027 they're on about getting rid of the license permanently.
Bring it on.
BBC has been told that they've got to find new revenues for money. So
well, that'd be advertising then, I
what do you think about that?
I think that the BBC in its heyday was fabulous. Back when I used to watch it in the 70s, 80s and 90s, show my age, there were so many good shows. It was just, it was the best form of entertainment, far better than its advertising rival ITV at the time. But I'd say in the last 10 years especially, they don't make anything I like anymore. They make Doctor Who, and that's not like it. Again, I'm not as critical as Doctor Who, but they don't make anything. I love the news. I think the news is good. The news is good, but
I can't relate to BBC anymore.
No, I can't.
Too woke. It's not about being what. Well, I just feel. I was in a cafe on Sunday, right? I went out Sunday. I met a friend of mine, and I was in a cafe getting something to eat before I went to meet her, and I was sat there, and the BBC, they had a big TV at back at cafe. There was no volume, but it was the BBC. It was on Sunday morning. Yeah, so I was having some breakfast, and I was looking up, and I thought, right, oh God, they've got BBC on, and it run around buying antiques at a market, and then it was something about buying a fucking house. It was like there were these programs on about, they about. Well, and then there was some religion on, and I sat there. We're in there about an hour, and they got him on some antiques, and I sat there and I thought, I would not want to get up Sunday morning and have to sit through that.
I'd rather stay in bed. I'd rather just put the pillow over my head.
I thought, if this is where we're at, it's. I didn't have any interest, and I left, and that's like the only time I've really seen it live, as normal.
Oh,
and
no.
I couldn't relate
it's just,
to it.
No,
now,
I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't.
I don't mind the radio. I quite like BBC Radio.
I used to like Radio 2. I used to listen to that a lot.
I like Radio 4 as well.
Radio 4. I think that the radio, for one thing, the radio is good because you don't, again, get the adverts. I think the BBC is too fanatical about sport. Everything's sport all the time, which, again, a lot of people like sport. I'm not into sport myself. And I do think that the news, I don't really watch I watched a bit of the Boris Johnson thing today where he was getting a grilling again about this drinks party and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's very interesting. I think that the BBC News itself is very good. Politics and that stuff is good.
Well, everybody goes on about the political views at BBC, but do you know it's the most trusted news channel in the country? It's not Sky News. It's BBC News. It's so trusted by the popular. Now, some people are going to say, "Oh no, it's all."
No, well, I think it is. I think
that
it is
official. The
I think it is. Yeah.
is the most reliable source for news in this country, and it's respected. Now, there is aspects of the BBC which I do respect. I mean, I like the documentary. They're outstanding.
Yeah.
Even some of the costume stuff, but. Now, like with me and you, we like to stream stuff. We watch stuff. We don't want adverts. We live in our own bubble of entertainment.
Yeah, but we're too used to our way of doing stuff. That's our problem.
Yeah, and we control what we watch without having something forced down your throat.
No, it's all our choice.
Yeah, precisely. So, but there is like say our parents' generation. They're probably into the BBC. But we're we had that conversation a couple of shows back about we were like in the middle somewhere.
That's right.
I don't want to see it shut down. I think it plays.
I don't either, but it's got to adjust to a different. It's got to update and catch up with the world.
Yeah, I mean, people sneak onto iPlayer and watch stuff and all this. It's. But I think the BBC, if it opened itself to a global market and went to something like Netflix, and then all right, keep its news channels and stuff like that.
Then it can have its archive of old shows. Don't forget BBC. They had like a BBC streaming. You could have Only Fools and Horses, 40 Towers, all the classic period. It's got a huge archive. They would make money. They would.
Yeah, they would, because it'd be a global audience that would pay for it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I don't want to see it go. I think it has a place, but it needs to change now. Politically, it needs to change.
I totally agree. Couldn't agree more.
And where it's going. I mean, I sat Sunday morning, what I saw of it. But yet again, there's older people like pensioners. They probably like it.
They love it.
You know, morning church.
Yeah. Morning.
You've got
songs of praise and gardening time.
Gardening time and country facts. Some people like all that, but it's the older generation. But for people like me and you, your kids, my relatives that are younger, they don't want to watch.
My two haven't watched a single show on BBC, probably hardly ever. They used to watch CBeebies and stuff when they were kids.
Yeah,
Mr. Bloody Tumble on CBeebies is Mr. Tumble, but I don't watch.
but that's the point. They don't watch it. They watch Netflix. Register with them.
They watch Netflix. They watch a lot of YouTube. They like TikTok. I can't get to TikTok. I think TikTok is no. You see, this is maybe where we're showing our age, because TikTok to me, I mean, YouTube has got a lot of rubbish content. But it's also got a lot of educational stuff. TikTok is like 1 minute of somebody going, whoa, and they've got 100,000 views or something.
Yeah, but that's for younger generation. And
I can't get TikTok at all. TikTok is just like,
But I don't want to see it go. But I think a debate is now needed on it. You know, I think it's historical. I think it's an archive, and we need to keep it. But I think the TV license fee now, it's time for it to go.
Well, I think
find other means.
I think because they've got such a great archive of the older shows, it would be, imagine if you subscribed to BBC Flicks or something. It would have its own name.
Yeah.
And it would have every one of those wonderful old shows, all the old comedies, all the old dramas. I mean, they've done, and it's just, and then they could also have some that would make them money to make new stuff, and maybe not the money they've got now, but it will be a smaller entity, because it's not going to be having to do like 24 hours of programming every day. It could reduce its output because it'll be getting more money from what it's created. It'll get input from streaming. Yeah.
Because they'll have a global audience.
Then you can choose it.
People in America love the BBC. They would pay for
BBC America. Got it. They've got their own version of BBC. Yeah.
You know, so I'm open for the debate, but I still want it to be public, and I want it to belong to the people. I believe that. But I just want it to change, you know, and become something
do you think advertising would be an option?
I read an article that apparently there was some commission did something that if the BBC went to advertising, it would damage ITV and the other stations.
That's what. Yeah, I was wondering as more of a rival, because it'd be more their playing field.
Yeah, and ITV would lose a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I watched ITV.
ITV is shit. ITV is even worse than BBC.
It's absolutely.
ITV has got nothing. Coronation Street and God knows what else.
ITV.
Daytime TV. Richard and
reality shows. You know,
oh yeah, that's right. X Factor and yeah, I just can't.
You know, but I think we need a public broadcast.
What was the last sci-fi show did you get from ITV? Let me ask you. The last sci-fi show I remember from ITV was Terrorhawks.
Okay. Do you know, you've got me there.
You think about it. Where did you get a decent sci-fi from ITV ever? Space 1999, as technically was on ITV, wasn't it?
No,
yeah, Jerry Anderson.
No.
Not Jerry Anderson. No. Jerry Anderson stuff. Terrorhawks, Space 1999.
Well, they've never really bought anything, have they? You know, you've not seen Star Trek pop up on.
Never.
You know, Channel 4 at least they bought. Channel 4 at least they did buy.
They had Lost in
Babylon
Space.
5
Babylon 5. Yeah, exactly.
And they bought other stuff. But why?
ITV has never been pro sci-fi in anything. I can't think of anything. Actually, Sapphire and Steel. Sapphire and Steel was one.
Supernatural when it first started. It was on ITV, but it was on like ITV2, and then after season 3 they dropped it. It's like ITV sometimes do buy stuff, but they get rid of it really quick.
Yeah.
Or the move.
But I'm talking actually making
2 o'clock
stuff.
in the morning.
I mean, they made Sapphire and Steel, but that was about 1984 or something. That was night TV show.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
that's the only one I can think of.
There was last thing
Chucky.
I saw that.
Chucky as well. ITV.
No, there was something with Dirty Den. He played an alien.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Leslie Grantham. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's on YouTube, actually. I forgot what it's called, The Hidden or something.
Okay.
It's these like beings that they all come. Well, they're taking over, and dirty. All their eyes turn white. They lived here before us, and they want the planet back. They did that. It was like 2 mini movies, but that were 1992. I've not seen anything.
30 years ago. Yeah.
Mostly it's soap operas or dramas, you know.
So you think of things like, again, streaming, look at all the shows from Netflix. You think of, obviously now, Paramount's doing the Star Trek series, again, streaming. Yeah. Disney has got the Star Wars franchise. Amazon, again, is The Expanse. So again, for our genres that we like, it's going to be streaming. It's not going to be the BBC.
But it's like when the BBC, like they used to make good science fiction, didn't BBC, like Quatermass and all this. Mm-hmm. But when they made like
they're the Triffids. Well, yeah, I mean the remake. The shows are, Blake 7, which I need to see again, which I know is really good. They're the Triffids. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Tripods, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf. Come on.
They dropped that.
Tripods was Michael Gray. That's one of my favourite series.
Yeah, every Saturday when that were on, you were sat in house I was as a kid.
I loved it.
Waiting
Absolutely
for that
loved
episode to start, and then a year later, I'm thinking it's round about September. Where's Tripods season 3?
And they dropped it, and they didn't start in pre-production. He dropped it.
Yes, all they did was create the music for it. It's all that it exists is the music.
That's why they stopped it. I know.
3.
No, it's terrible.
And it did get big ratings, but they didn't think about the people like us that were watching.
Yeah, but Michael Gray hated science fiction, and he was the head of the BBC, and he thought that there was enough science fiction with Doctor Who, so he chose between Doctor Who and the Tripods, and he got rid of the Tripods, and then eventually got rid of Doctor Who as well. The guys are.
Yeah, but it's like when a year ago we were getting excited for War at Wealth. You remember when we saw that?
Episode 3 was the War of the Worlds we did, and it was absolutely
watched it. Because I think we did little reviews live after it for the 3 weeks we did.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I remember both of us sat there on Sunday.
I was so upset about that.
But I thought, if it's BBC costume
it's
drama,
going to be a really, really big thing.
This is going to be it now. We're going to get the full Victorian and what we had to sit through.
No, it was just it was like a nightmare in tripodic form. It was just awful. It was terrible.
Yeah, well,
it was flashbacks and it's awful. Yeah. Awful show, and that's why. Because when it was made, it went very, very quiet for about a year because people said, well, they should have released it now.
Right.
And it was like 6 months and a year. About a year and a half later, we're going to finally show it. And of course, we know now why it didn't, because they realised that when they made it was a pile of cack.
Well, do you remember that they had that Christmas trailer of stuff coming on over Christmas?
And it was on.
Walker.
And then,
a few seconds.
Yes, and then there was about it for a year. And then it was about a year before we did the podcast. We both saw it separately. We thought, here we go.
Yeah, we did.
Nothing. Yeah. And then about a year later, they finally showed it, and it was just shite. It was terrible. So, and the Triffids, they're the Triffids. 90s version was awful as well.
Yeah, and when they did Quatermass, the 90s version.
I never saw that. I never saw the Quatermass as well. But
don't bother. It was terrible.
But I just think of mind you, the remake of The Survivors I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, because we covered
that was quite good. I thought that was pretty good. Not as good as the original, but it was still solid.
But there was something in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
But you see, the Blake's, it's like Blake 7. I'm a massive fan of that.
I'm going to watch that. I will watch that.
I'm more of a fan of that than actually Doctor Who.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd love Blake 7. But the thing is, with the dark storylines and the universe of that, they could bring that back today with modern special effects and sit on a multi-million.
I'm surprised they haven't done it. Because they must own the rights to them. I mean, it wasn't Terry Nation. Did Terry Nation?
I think it's only for first season, yeah.
And I thought he was involved somewhere. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a franchise show which they could redo. But then they might do it like War of the Worlds. They could completely bugger it up again.
Yeah, they could. But it
might be not getting. Go on.
These are things that deserve a remake to get it right with the effect. The technology's there now to put that right. It's like UFO. Yeah. That should have been remade. It's that good.
Space 1999. Remake that. Yeah. Space 2099. I mean, I could see that.
Space 1999's downfall, got cancelled the year Star Wars come out. If they'd have gone to season 3, it'd have got a 5-6 year run.
Yeah, it was just a bit too soon for it to catch on. Yeah. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, no argument there. Because it was about 1974 that was out, I think. Space, and then, of course, Star Wars was 1977. So you're right. It was just out by about 3 or 4 years.
So my question is to you. What would you do with the BBC now? What would you do with it? How would you
I would
Netflix?
I would BBC Flicks. I would have BBC Flicks. I would make it a transitional period where the TV license is going to be phased out, but I don't know how they'll do it. Maybe they'd start to phase it out by age, so that the early 70s, early 80s would get it for free, like they used to have.
Yeah.
And then every couple of years, bring it down and have a transitional thing where you pay for BBC Flicks, and then maybe increment the price of the Flicks as the TV license dissipates to compensate for the differential, and then that's it. You just pay for BBC Flicks.
Would you keep BBC One itself then?
If they had well, are you saying while it's paralleling with BBC Flicks at the same time, or are you saying?
Would you like you've got say you turn iPlayer into BBC Flicks, right? The archive and new stuff that's made. But would you get rid of all the BBC network and have it as like Netflix?
Yeah. Because there's nothing. Yeah, I would.
Paying a subscription.
No, I wouldn't, because there's nothing on BBC for me to watch. I'd rather have something where they show classic shows, plus they make proper content rather than all the daytime filler shows of shite like Guardian. Yeah. That's what I think I would. It's interesting because. If we played this back in 10 years' time, some of our predictions might actually be coming true. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Give it a play in.
I think it's going to become 2032. So I think Amazon, what they've done, they've added channels now within Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, you've got something called Stars. I may have a look at it, but you get like little separate channels within it.
Right.
So you can watch some stuff, but then they charge you. I think. I agree with you. It'd be like say BBC Flicks but the news channel will be streaming on that.
Okay, like a sub, part of it, part of the envelope.
Like sub parts of it. I think that's very good because terrestrial television now is on its way out.
And I hope it's sooner rather than later, because it's absolutely, unless you're early over 70. Literally, I mean, it's just terrible. It's just awful.
Well, how many people? How many people are paying for Sky subscriptions now with a box?
I got Sky for free once. We talked about this before. At one point, for some reason, Sky One was on. I was getting it on terrestrial TV somehow. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I watched it for The Simpsons and the Star Trek series and Stargate.
Yeah.
But I've got all those now, like I said, if there was a higher degree of science fiction or good comedy, like they used to have, not so much sci-fi. I never had a lot of sci-fi, but obviously comedy they used to have. Then I might be thinking, well, I still like this. I still watch this. I still watch that. I watch Doctor Who. I watch 10 episodes a year. Next year I'll be watching 3 episodes. No, it's ridiculous. 3 episodes of Doctor Who the whole year.
Yeah,
it's not worth me paying the TV license.
See, I've got a Roku stick. I just put it into my telly, and I've got hundreds of channels. And I can choose to watch any one of them. I don't really watch because it's all crap, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I've got friends that do watch Freeview,
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, like I said,
I've got Freeview. I think it's in my telly, but I've never activated it. I don't bother with it.
I think it's on mine. I think I've got it as well. I've never looked at it either.
I don't have an aerial connection into my telly. If I want to watch stuff like, I can stream it anyway. So you know. So I just because I've been reading up on about the whole BBC thing, and I just wondered what your opinion was. I agree with you. I think what you said is where I'd go with it.
I think we had a really good conversation. We've sort of gone into this tangent, but it's been a really good one, and I've really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, no,
I think it'd be interesting to see where we go. Like I said, but I do think that this is the beginning of the death knell of the BBC entity in its current form. And quite frankly, it's about time. And get all these channels on streaming, so that even the old fogies, you can have fogey streaming or something, and you can have you can have all creatures great and small, and last of the summer wine, they'll be happy, and that's it, they'll be done. And they'll just get used to it, and it's just how it's going to be done. But this daytime TV and these god awful chat shows and these dance programs and I know it's an individual.
Well, no, we haven't gone off on the tangent. This is what we talk about. It's media,
isn't it? And it's not just science fiction, but I mean, it's what we like.
And
but go on.
When we were growing up, there were a lot on there which we appreciated, but not anymore.
It's really strange. I mean, it's like I know all the old 90s and 80s adverts where I used to be at home. Of course, I didn't know any different, and of course, you'd watch live TV. And now I just had an advert with the TV off in the background, this smiling old granny and the old boy giving her a bunch of flowers and saying, you should get life insurance and all this stuff. And I was like, turn it off. It's like, I can't stand it.
I watched an insurance advert a couple of years ago where it came on, and it's a family, right? And little girls on swing, like this family. And then it next 30 seconds, just stared at mother, because dad had had an accident and killed him off. But then this man turned up with a check.
With a big check for like £100,000 or something.
That's a bit sick.
Oh my God, it's pathetic. I mean, my God, I have to make money out of
little
debt.
kids, they were daddy, but he's gone now.
I know, it's okay now, but we can get a new BMW
Mummy's
with the money.
Because she's got his life insurance.
And now she could buy a brand new BMW, so she's all right.
And move the toy boy in.
Yeah, exactly, buy an extra big bed as well. Yeah, get us all that. All right, Martin.
A bit sick.
I don't know. I think it's funny, though, and I do like these conversations. Martin, thank you so much. I've had a really good laugh with it tonight.
One this week.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Next week, hopefully, we are going to be doing that film. What's it? Gibbs F. Not Frontier. What's it called? Foundation. So hopefully, you'll get the chance to see it this week because it's. Let me know about that one.
I'm not doing that much of it weekend, so I'm going to try
to give it a go.
I've got my mate on me because he wants me to watch Squid Game. I know you're a fan of it, but he keeps going on about it.
Have you seen it yet? You've seen Squid Game?
No. He phoned me up last night. He said you've got to watch it. He said first 4 episodes, you can't turn it off.
Oh, do you think we can do that on a podcast?
Oh, yeah, right.
Because it's cold. No. But Squid Game, I like Squid Game. You'll like it. It's really good. No. You'll never watch Takeshi's Castle in the same way again. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Right, then. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to conquer Foundation this weekend. So
all right, do Foundation. But in the future, I think we should do a Squid Game because I don't care if it's not pure sci-fi. It's got sci-fi elements in it. Yeah, I'd add that. I don't care. What's my podcast on it? I'd add it.
And next week's 99.
Episode 99. So Foundation next week, hopefully. And then episode 100. Now, this isn't going to happen, but I did send a message to Vic at Stargate Continues, and he said they're going to forward it to him. I was saying, we're doing episode 100. Would you like us to be involved? They're probably not going to. It's not going to. But if not, it doesn't matter. We'll hopefully still have Robert on, even Tom, Tom Julian, the author of the Timberwolf films, books. He can hopefully be on as well. But that's episode 100. But yeah, we've got some good shows coming up and stuff like that. 100 episodes. That's going to be incredible.
I know. Wow, incredible.
I love it. We're going to finish with, I came across this song parody of Groundhog Day. It's kind of like got snippets of clips and stuff. Funny thing, I love adding this stuff. Hopefully it's not going to be an issue with the copyright thing. We always have this crap every time, but I've got to put something in the show. So, Martin, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Special today is blueberry waffles.
Okay, campers, rise and shine. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
Season groundhog, it'll be in early spring. Didn't we do this yesterday? I don't know what you mean.
Well, it's Groundhog Day, and there's no way winter's ever going to end. It comes again and again, again and again, again and again.
Phil, needle-nosed Ned at the head.
Again and again. Groundhog Day, there's no way it's ever going to end. He said it's Groundhog Day. Once upon on February 2nd. Oh, God.
Phil Connors, I thought that was you. Don't tell me you don't remember me. I sure as heck I remember you. Ned, Ryerson, needle-nosed Ned. Bing, Ned, Ryerson, Ned the head.
Bing.
Come on, buddy. Case Western High. Am I right?
Ned Ryerson.
Bang, bang,
Bing.
Phil Connors.
Ned Ryerson.
Bang. Oh, first shot. Right out of the box.
I gotta go.
Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. It's a doozy.
Well, it's Groundhog Day, and there's no way winter's ever going to end. It comes again and again, again and again, again and again.
That's for making me care about you.
Again and again. Groundhog Day, there's no way it's ever going to end. He said it's Groundhog Day. Once upon on February 2nd. Groundhog Day. Freezing their butts off to worship a rat. Groundhog Day. And pull a rat out. A rat dog's back. Oh, God.
Well, sometimes I wish I had 1,000 lifetimes. Maybe it's not a curse, just depends.
Gosh, you're an upbeat lady.
Maybe. If it's not too boring, we could do it again.
Well, it's Groundhog Day, and there's no way winter's ever going to end. It comes again and again, again and again, again and again. You never thanked me again and again. Groundhog Day, there's no way it's ever going to end. Groundhog Day, once upon on February 2nd. Groundhog Day.
The forecast says 6 weeks as well. So touch the magic bell before you go.
And I said to him, put it right here. Out in California, warm weather tomorrow, gang wars.